I got a list of things to complain about, like an airing of grievances.
Okay.
Well, actually, let me ask you this first, because this was a supercharged debate here at the Westgate Superbook on a Wednesday in March. So it's the conference tournaments right now, but there's no like really, really big games yet. It's only Wednesday. And the Thunder are playing the Celtics in the NBA.
And the Thunder are really good this year, right?
Those are probably the two best teams in the league.
Okay.
So the question is, what do we do on sound here at the Sportsbook? Do we go with Thunder, Celtics, or do we pick whatever we determine to be the best college basketball game? Kelly.
The answer is the best college basketball game, of course.
That's what I said. Okay, well, I said the same thing.
That's not even up for debate.
I said no one cares about the NBA regular season.
Nobody cares about the NBA regular season.
And it's March. It's like everyone
dork on the internet screenshot the fact that I said I don't care about the NBA till April. Does that make me like less sharp? Does that make me what? No one cares about the NBA regular season. There's nothing between now and when is playoffs start, exactly in a month from today or something, or right around that. For the next month, who gives a shit?
Probably like
yeah,
that's what I said. So I thought I wanted us to go with, pick your poison, whatever college basketball game you want. Nobody cares about the NBA. The NBA regular season is terrible. The NBA playoffs will be interesting, I guess, but the NBA regular season is god awful. Who cares? So we actually agree for once. Okay. So that was my first grievance.
We're going to agree on that. I mean, like, I don't even know if I'll watch the first round of the NBA playoffs. We'll see if I can find any sort of value. I mean, here's how the NBA used to be when I started to learn how to handicap the NBA when I was working for NBA TV.
I've never learned how to handicap the NBA.
You get the best of the information. Like, you find out who's going to sit out, 1-star player. You either bet it before or you wait until the line moves 5 or 6 points and then you bet it, or you try to bet both and get a middle. Now it's like 17 seconds before tip-off and you find out somebody's going to just stay on the bench and you're like, wait, he was just warming up. What happened? Like, I don't like to play games that I don't have an edge. I don't like to play rigged events, if you will. I know the NBA is not rigged, but like, it's like the stock market. Everybody's like, the stock market's on fire. I'm like, what's the stock market? Like, I'm never going to be Dan Crenshaw. I'm never going to be Nancy Pelosi. I'm never going to be one of these rich politicians who gets insider information. So why would I play? Why would I play?
What makes you think that those politicians are able to have
well, I don't know. I make more money per year than they do, and I'm not worth $72 million.
Well, I think that all those politicians, congressmen, senators whose portfolios outperform the biggest hedge funds in the world, I think they're just really, really lucky.
Oh,
I think they're just getting super lucky time after time, and there's nothing to really look into there at all. That's what
I'm out. Let me play with the crypto market. I did bet, and I call it betting because if I call it betting, then it's not investing. Because if I lose money, it's not a big deal. I did bet on
it's not a big deal
oil companies. I got some good insight right after the election. One of my buddies lives in West Texas. He said, here's the 3 oil companies that are getting ready to drill, baby, drill. And I bought all 3 of them, and they looked really good until last week.
A lot of things looked really good until last week. I'll tell you this, I've been happy with our UFC results in 2025 until last week.
Last week was awful.
We had terrible.
And you finally shared them with me, and we went 0-3.
Well, I said that everyone was betting Ankalaev, which they were. That's just a fact. Everybody bet that guy. He wins by decision. So I didn't see any of the fights. I can't comment on anything because I was on the East Coast in Virginia, and the pay-per-view starts at like 10:15 at night. I was asleep. So I can't like really say. I don't really know what happened.
But your body only thought it was 7:15. How did you go to sleep?
I fell asleep before 11. I mean, the first pay-per-view fight was at 10:15. The main event goes at like, I don't know.
Jim, I expected better from you. You're at home with like all your high school buddies from your rich little private high school, like out drinking.
I went out Friday night. I didn't go out Saturday night. Friday night we went out. But Saturday night,
so you were hungover for the baptism.
No, I wouldn't say. Look, I really wasn't hungover. We were at a bar. We're at this great cigar bar in Alexandria Old Town, and we were just drinking beers and being responsible.
Oh,
And
sure.
then a friend of one of my friends came in. This guy was drunk, and he's like, "Oh, this guy's the greatest guy," and he starts buying shots of tequila. And I'm looking at this shot of tequila. I was like, I need this thing like I need a bullet in the head, man. I don't want this. But the guy's hanging over our shoulder like impending doom at the bar behind us, watching to see if we're going to drink it.
Yeah, of course.
So I did.
Yeah, you had to. Peer pressure.
So,
I'd have dumped it on the floor.
But everybody bet. Oh, that's really nice. Everybody bet Ankalaev.
Listen, sometimes you should not be taking shots, and you just got to do what's best for you the next day. And sometimes it's like right over the shoulder, right on the floor. Got to fake it.
Everybody bet Justin Gaethje in his fight, the co-main event. I heard he won by decision. And then we had our sharp guys on Turner, and he lost. I guess he was winning, and he got submitted from his back, and then he retired.
Sucks.
Oh, my God. Well, sometimes I'm glad I don't watch these things, honestly. I'm glad I didn't see that. I would have been pissed.
Here's the thing. I want to know how people they pay for the pay-per-view when 5 seconds later, I get to see the exact same thing on Twitter.
Well, you've never had a fight party at your estate where you invite your friends over? And
the last time we had a fight party was in Vegas, and it wasn't even at my house, actually. So no, I've never had a fight party.
Okay, never had a fight party. Yeah, we did really bad on that. College basketball, we've been doing a little bit better. This week, there's a lot going on. This week, you've got the college basketball conference tournaments. You've got the Players Championship in Kelly's neck.
You have some golf to share with us?
Well, you don't need me to tell you. You can just look at what Wes is on.
You're just going to use Wes's stuff? I didn't know. Of course,
man. Wes, that guy's a mutant. You don't follow Wes?
I mean, I know who Wes is. I follow him, but I don't blindly follow his golf picks. I didn't know I was supposed to be. I
think you should. Well, you got mad at me the other day because I had a bet on some idiot that ended up losing anyway, and and all it was I just followed Wes. I don't know. It was I think it was Tom Kim. Shouldn't have called Tom Kim an idiot.
Oh, that was a couple of weeks ago. I remember, and he looked really good, and then he fell off day 4. I remember that.
I was the idiot for betting that. I lost. I like Tom Kim. Everybody, the guy everybody bets in golf nowadays is this Ludwig Oberg guy. Everybody bets that guy.
Aberg, right? Aberg.
Yeah, every tournament we got liability on him. We get all these tickets on him. We don't want him to win the Players. Scheffler is 11-2. I mean, we haven't really seen prices like this in these golf tournaments since Tiger was in his prime. Rory McIlroy 14-1. Morikawa is 12-1. I think there's been some sharp money on Hideki Matsuyama. Kelly, maybe look at Matsuyama for the Players Championship.
I'm trying to figure out how to spell it.
Or I can text it to you.
No, I got it. This is close enough. Did I do right? Matsuamaya?
I think that's right. Yeah.
Okay.
How'd you do that?
Phonics.
Yes, we got that. And then
phonics yesterday at the beach. We were talking about how it's a lost art that nobody had 5th grade phonics books that I was with because they could not pronounce things.
You can't pronounce shit. You can never pronounce any of these players'
Eastern
names.
European UFC fighters. That is a fact.
No,
guys from Kazakhstan definitely cannot pronounce their names. Admittedly so. Probably a lot of Russian guys. Germans is probably really hard for me too.
You do so much media. DePaul is on a 19-2 run. Oh my God. You do so much media. I think you'd be better at knowing how to pronounce everybody's name.
Yeah, I mean, when I actually had to do real media, I definitely tried. You just go on Google and it reads it off for you repeatedly. But now that I don't have to try, I just get to do my own thing. It's it's almost funny.
You don't try on the show with me?
No. We started 44 minutes late. I got the K-State game on in the background. Listen, I am just we're on cruise control. I'm already on the cruise. But right now we're on cruise control.
Yeah, I don't know what I see. I got DePaul is on a 19-2 run against Georgetown right now. West Virginia lost to Colorado this afternoon. They're out of the Big 12 tournament. Liverpool got eliminated from the Champions League yesterday. I got nothing left to give. I just got to wait for baseball to start, man. Baseball's about to start.
Yeah, I had some people ask me about baseball today. Like, hey, can you do baseball on the show tomorrow? And I was like, can somebody just call Ariel? Like, no. Like, I don't know. That's the best part. You can just tell people no sometimes. I like it. Sorry, no, I don't want to talk about baseball during the month of March.
Okay, that makes sense. Well, we have our fantasy baseball draft the 25th. So we got to be doing some preparations there. There's a lot of money in that league.
Yeah, you have fun. I'm worried about my college basketball, Calcutta. So you enjoy your fantasy baseball league.
Well, most people don't bet the kind of money you bet. I mean, most like regular people aren't in like $10,000 fantasy football buy-ins that people don't end up paying for. So I mean, right? So
you said it, not me. He was just very delayed.
What do you want? What would you like to talk about before we get into college basketball stuff? I keep getting asked. So here's a question I've been asked a lot this week. Movement on NFL free agency.
Okay.
I mean, has anybody changed teams that would be consequential enough to?
I keep seeing these like weird things that I don't even know if it's true. It's like Aaron Rodgers is making a decision between the Steelers and the Giants. And I'm like,
what the hell difference would that make?
Exactly.
If Aaron Rodgers went to the Giants, what would that matter? What would that do? Aaron Rodgers is like my age.
Yes, he is.
I don't know why that would matter. I saw DK Metcalf.
Well, actually, Aaron Rodgers is 5 days younger than me.
Okay. Well, Well, that's weirdly specific.
Yeah, I had to like figure it out. It's part of the witch stuff. You got to figure out people's birthdays. It's important.
Did you know that March 10th is also known as Mario Day? Because it's MAR
10.
Yeah. And I got a pug named Mario. Great guy.
Yeah, I mean, there could be something there.
I didn't even know that until, your buddy Noah, his son's birthday is March 10th. He told me that on Monday.
March 10th is probably a big Super Mario fan.
He is. We lowered the Steelers because after they got Metcalf, there were all these futures bets on the Steelers. They traded for Metcalf. That's what I was trying to say. I don't know that really makes a big difference to me, to be honest. Who is the Steelers quarterback?
That's exactly what I was getting at with Aaron Rodgers. Like, if Aaron Rodgers goes to the Steelers and he's got a couple weapons.
Aaron Rodgers.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't really see. I don't know why that would really make much of a difference, to be honest with you.
I think people would bet them. I think that just like they did with the Jets. Yeah,
that's true. And the Steelers are a team I can tell you that we always have liability on every season. And they usually make the playoffs, right? Or like come close.
Well, they usually go above 500.
Right.
With Mike Tomlin.
They always go above 500.
Even if they're really crappy.
We've had to lower the Bears, John Hoagland's team, the Chicago Bears.
Why did he max bet it?
John's not allowed to bet here, I don't think. But we've been taking a lot of money on the Bears have shored up their offensive line, and I have to think that they've upgraded significantly at the head coach position because that guy they had last year was so bad. I mean, we'll see what Johnson looks like, but the guy last year was so bad. It's like you almost can't help but get better.
But every coach they hire is so bad. Name like the last good Bears coach was when I was born. I mean, that's the problem is that they keep hiring these guys.
Who was the coach when you were born?
Mike Ditka.
I was just trying to date you, age you.
At this point, I think everybody knows I'm old, and I don't give a shit.
I thought you were going to say George Ellis.
But all jokes aside, okay, Ben Johnson's never been a head football coach before. How do we know he's going to be so prolific?
The Bears and the Rams. The Rams made a move to get Devontae Adams. And remember, the Rams were the only team in the playoffs that actually gave the Eagles a game. They had the ball down 6 in the fourth quarter. And I think they got it inside the 30. They actually
because Jake Elliott missed 2 PATs in that game. There was the reason why the spread was in play was because of that. The PATs, and you're right. I was watching the game with Chris Thurston, and he had a big futures bet on the Eagles, and he had the Eagles for the game. So he was sweating when it was very unnecessary. I mean, all the Eagles defense had to do was make a stop.
is there ever a day where Chris Thurston doesn't have some enormous bet hanging in the balance? Like, is that ever not a thing with him?
And I don't really know, but I bet there's at least one a week.
One day a week where he doesn't have his like nuts on the line on some sporting event. Okay. Tell me about you. You keep sending me this link. It's like people are voting on you in a bracket style thing.
No,
like
we keep laughing about this.
We're laughing
talk about it because the same reason why I don't talk about the spaces stuff. Like I don't want to play with these kids. I don't want to be included. And I was joking and said, please vote against me so this stops blowing up my mentions.
I got you know what? I had somebody that reached out to me on the side, Ben Fox. He reached out to me on the side. He said he listened to this show, last show we did.
He watches the show?
He said he did. Maybe he's lying, but he said he did. And he said the reason why they do those spaces is to expose all the frauds in the industry.
So why would anybody do the spaces? Why would if you're a fraud, why would you do it?
So you're saying anybody that goes on there is not therefore not a fraud.
Or very intelligent of a person.
What is it? Oh, you mean that people are just so stupid? But that made sense to me. It's like, well, these guys go in there to expose the fraud.
Yeah, but what's with these guys trying to white knight? Like, if you're dumb enough to go on Instagram, see a guy who never posts a ticket, never has his bets tracked, like, think like Vegas Dave, right? Like, old school, like, I got this Lamborghini, I go to the nightclub, I do all this shit, right? So I lived in Vegas at the time. I worked at a nightclub. Dave, I'm not sure exactly how he made his money, but it was in real estate, mortgage, whatever. I don't know what it was. All I know is that he never bet near as much as he did until he started getting paid, right? He'd bet like 10 grand to win like 1,500 on Alabama money line, things like that. So anyway, there's this like kid now that's all over Instagram. And they're claiming they're going to have him on the space to like expose him. It's like, all you guys are going to do is put more eyeballs on him. If people are not smart enough to realize.
There's a kid on Instagram that's betting big.
Who's got like 2 million followers on TikTok and Instagram. And he bet $1 million on the Chiefs versus the Bills. And like now everybody is buying his picks. And it's like, listen, if you are dumb enough to give some kid like that on the internet money, I can't help you. Like neither thing spaces.
Like probably 8 to 10 years ago, there was this kid, younger kid, and he was going around to the sports books making
double bag boy.
No, that guy was an old man.
Oh.
That nickname made no sense. But I didn't nickname him. But he wasn't an old man. He was older than me. He was probably like in his 60s or 70s. He's not a boy.
I don't know. I never saw the guy. I just heard about him because everybody was talking about him.
Years ago, there was a young kid, an actual young kid. He was like 22 or 23, and he was going around making very, very large sports bets. He would come here. He'd go all over the place. And I forget what publication it was. I think it was like USA Today. They did a profile of him.
I remember that.
And he was talking about how like he was in Beverly Hills and he was having other people make bets for him, which is illegal. And like the same day the article came out, we were getting emails from our compliance people saying you can't accept bets from this guy anymore. And we closed his account. And I think he ended up going to jail for something. But yes, of course. Usually, like, what's the point of my story? My point is, well, A, I just want everyone to know that I have an elephant brain and I remember everything. But B, if somebody is out there flashing, trying to convince you how much money they have and how sharp they are, they're probably trying to rip you off, or they're probably a fraud. Because there really are young guys and young people that are making money betting on sports. For the most part, they try to keep a very low profile. For the most part, they don't really want everybody to know who they are. I mean, for one reason, they don't want anybody following them to their car. And
you remember that the day that I had like that fanny pack full of money at the Westgate, and I was like, "Can you please walk me to my car?"
We've had, I mean, over the years, I've heard stories. I don't remember it happening here, but over the years, I've heard stories of people getting mugged outside of the casino, and it's. I mean, this sounds awful, but it's in a lot of ways, it's their fault for being so flashy. How did you set it up to where so many people knew you had all this money? You know, like why didn't you do a better job?
Listen,
You know I'm big on
not going to get any sympathy
accountability.
from me. I think, I did an article today, or I spoke to a guy from the New York Times, and he was asking me about all this stuff. So it's funny that Ben brought it up, because he's like, Kelly, like, what's the differentiating between, these touts and other touts? And I laughed, and I said, listen, I think the reality is are these people being transparent? Do you know what their bets are before the game goes off? Right? Are they posting? Like one of the things Dave used to do was use a PPH account. That stands for a per head account. If anybody doesn't want to know what that is, or an illegal book, and
you
basically
bet any amount of money on that.
Yeah, you get an agent login, and you can put in whatever bet you want. You could put in bets on both sides, but you just take the screenshot of the winning bet after the game. And that's kind of what he got accused of doing. I don't know if that's what he was doing or not. That's just my guess. And it's not hard to do any of that kind of stuff. Like, so when people post after the game, or, there wasn't a video out with what they were explaining, or some sort of tracking way for you to track, whether that's an app. I use Picket Sports. There's other ones out there, but shameless plug. I love the Picket guys. Those guys are great to me. But that's kind of the reality. I feel like these guys have always tried to be these white knights in shining armor, like these holier than thou elitist assholes that I know who most of them are. I've worked with some of them. I've been around some of them. They sit on this like.
Aren't you kind of an elitist? Don't you think you're a bit of an elitist?
No. See, the difference is I don't think I'm better than anybody else. I don't act any better than everybody else. I have to put myself on a pedestal, because if I play in the mud with these kids, I'm the only one that loses. I said the same thing we talked about a couple weeks ago with Ariel. I have no way of winning. I could go on and talk about all sorts of things. I could go to a panel. I could go do all these things, and nothing I say is going to be good enough. They're going to try to mince your words. They're going to try to trick you, like they did to Ariel, into admitting something that's like that you never said you were. And it's just not like a healthy thing to do. And like I said before, these types of people have cost me millions of dollars, and I'm just not going to let it happen anymore, because I don't care. And so I only put myself on an elevated position, because if I stoop to their level, it's going to get nasty.
Okay.
But I'm not an elitist. These are guys that like go lobstering in Maine with their children in the summertime. Like I'm talking like rich guys with a trust fund that try to portray themselves as sports bettors, and then in their free time they white knight on the internet to save you from evil touts. But they're not touts.
They go lobstering in Maine. You mean like you remember when Kramer scooped all the lobster pots when they were up in the Hamptons?
No.
And then, really? You don't remember that episode?
No.
What's the matter with you, man? You're so joyless. You're so
Seinfeld. I never have.
Sports. You're so worried about sports and sports betting. Liverpool is out of the Champions League. Sports no longer are important.
Oh.
Sports.
Are we still going to the game in August? Are you even coming to the K-State game in August? Do you even know what you're doing with your life 6 months from now?
6 months from now? No, I don't.
I guess not.
Isn't that's
April, May, June, July? Yeah, August. 6 months from now.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I do have to figure that out.
Okay.
College basketball. What do you want me to run you through? It's just we found this. Kelly and I have been doing the show for like 5 or 6 years, and it's really difficult to give out sharp plays during conference tournament week because it's so fluid. By the time the show airs, it's just tough. I mean, we can the picks we can give out. I think that'll be the most valuable next week when we do the show Wednesday. We can run through the tournament props, conference win over unders.
I love those.
Seed win over unders. That stuff's good. That stuff's a little bit more evergreen. But once the first game tips off on Thursday, then they're gone. So it really is tough. It's not like during football when we can do the show on Wednesday or Thursday and give you sharp plays for Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and there's all kinds of time to bet on it. It's a much tighter window. It's tough. And Kelly always wants – you want me to say sharp stuff because that's what plays on TikTok, right?
I don't know. Whatever you do on TikTok, you, Ralph, Marco, there's there's something about you guys that TikTok loves. I got like 174 views on my last video. I fucking hate TikTok. John Hoagland said though that we need to TikTok. Go ahead. You love TikTok.
I thought TikTok was I thought it was like video. I mean, I got John Hoagland, our producers here. I thought TikTok was like videos of like hot 18-year-old people doing stuff. Is that not what it is?
Oh boy.
It's videos of me. It's videos of me talking about sports betting.
All I know is Brett's uncle Andy texts me and he goes, I don't get the reference about saying that nobody recognizes you like you were in China. And then I had to break it down to him. And he was like, I get it now. So he watches you on TikTok even, which I thought was kind of crazy. But John Hoagland wants us to touch on 3 things. Number 1, I have no idea what this is. What is Triple Point Saturday at the Westgate?
Oh, good. So for pari-mutuel wagering on Saturdays, starting this Saturday, March 15th, triple the points, triple the comp points on all pari-mutuel wagers every Saturday until I think it's the first Saturday in September, whenever Del Mar ends. I want to say September 6th. Yep.
So I did book my flight out for a Final Four. I don't know if I'm still coming, but I booked it because it was cheap after Southwest pissed everybody off. But I'll have to remember that. Maybe get some ponies.
Yeah, that pissed me off, man. Southwest.
Why? Aren't you A-list? Why do you care?
They're charging for bags?
They're not going to charge A-list. Don't you have their credit card? I've had their credit card since college. I'm A-list for life.
I have it.
You'll be fine.
A-list for life.
Yeah, Brett has not paid for a flight to somewhere where I'm going since we've been together. I guarantee it because he's my companion on Southwest.
Triple Point Saturdays, March 15th through September 6th, every Saturday. That's only pari-mutuel wagering. Love to have Kelly in here playing the ponies. Why don't you tell us about, you've got all these splash contests. Now, I did a video promoting one of them, but I was like Kamala Harrising it. Like I just read the words on the screen.
I don't think you did pretty good. I mean, for the most part. Outside of saying who won 133 entries, I don't know. Maybe somebody who saw that there's like a $75,000 overlay. That's when you do 133 entries.
Yeah, that's true, actually. Yeah, you're right. That's a good answer. Why? Yeah, you're absolutely right. I'm wrong. I'm definitely wrong.
So our Survivor, $25 right now. I think it's $77,000 in an overlay. Just a little over 1,000 people got signed up. We got 4,400 slots available. So we got to get there. Otherwise, Splash is never going to ask us to do a contest again after they so graciously guaranteed us. And then I've got my $500 ATS contest, which is not doing as well. I get it. Shelling out $500 right now while the stock market looks like the chairs behind John Murray's head is not the most ideal. But I think we'll probably get maybe 35, 40 entries when it's all said and done. And then the $1 million guaranteed is not our contest, but I did enter us in it. $100 to get in, $1 million guaranteed. Basically, it's the same as our Survivor contest, except for it's a bigger prize pool because it's more money.
And we have, so Kelly and I bet Houston, right? Houston, we've got Houston at 10-1. Me, you, Johnny Boy, Louis D'Onofrio have 10-1 on Houston. And then when they get, are they going to be they'll be a 1 seed, right?
I think so.
So when they're a 1 seed, do we want to bet them on the money line in the first round, or we want to start that in the second round?
Last year. Listen, this is your deal. This is better to roll it over. This is
I hope I don't screw this up.
You are. You're going to. It's going to happen.
There's a lot of pressure on me. I'm feeling a lot of pressure about this idea because if the rollover doesn't pay more than 10-1, I'm going to look like a gigantic asshole.
2 years in a row.
I know. And you and Louie and John should all be mad at me. You'd be so right to be mad because I'd be costing you guys money. I know. And I love Louie and John. So I mean, I love you too, but I'm not as worried about costing you money because you have so much of it. Like you just have it, you just throw it on a big pile of money. What's the difference? But like for me, Louie and John, we're working guys, man. We're in the trenches. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We got Houston at 10-1. I think they'll be a 1 seed, but they are playing in the Big 12 tournament this week. Thought they were going to be playing West Virginia tomorrow. West Virginia lost to Colorado.
Dude, that was an awful second half.
Oh, it was awful. West Virginia's out. Houston will play Colorado tomorrow in the quarterfinals of the Big 12 tournament. What's the deal with this court at the Big 12 tournament?
I don't know whose idea it was. We saw it last week for the women's games, and it was like, what were they thinking? It's kind of like It's basically got the XI everywhere, like all over, but it's like, it's not great for TV watching at all.
Last thing, we're having a Q&A with Christian Leitner on March 29th here at the Westgate. We're going to do that in the iBar. I wanted Kelly to come.
I won't be there this morning. If I come, it'll be the 4th.
I wanted Kelly to come. I thought Kelly would be better at the actual like hosting of the Q&A, asking the questions, but Kelly can't make it, so I'm going to do it myself. I got a big dinner that
night. It's Johnny Detroit's 50th birthday.
No, that is big. That is big. Okay,
I got to MC that instead.
You're MCing the dinner? Are you MCing?
No, we're just going to go get a really awesome dinner and drink some really good wine and eat some seafood and steak.
So you're just going to ruin it by being loud. That's not really MCing. You know, that's just like.
Brad's gonna love that comment. Brad is gonna love that comment.
No, it's not me. You said that. I've been out to dinner with you, and you've walked in and seen that like the restaurant was a little bit tight, and you've been like, "Oh my God, I'm gonna ruin everyone's dinner by being so loud and just saying all this inappropriate stuff." And I'm just like, just don't do that then. Just don't be inappropriate and loud. Just go eat your dinner.
Listen. It's my dinner too.
Yeah, but you don't have to ruin everyone else's time, man. All right. That's Saturday, March 29th. Week after is the Final Four. Hopefully Kelly will be here. Hopefully Houston will be playing. Hopefully Auburn will be playing. But I think
hopefully Florida will be playing. I think
Auburn lost. I think Auburn lost their last 2 games, right? They lost their last 2 regular season games.
Yeah, I need Florida to have a nice run at least, so I can feel really good about that 40-1 ticket. I mean, right now it's 7-1 at a lot of shops, so we'll see. I won the baby 50-50 at Chris Thurston's baby shower, and I got $250. You got to give the other $250 to the kid, and so I took his $250, and I thought, you know what? I'm gonna make his first sports bet, something his dad probably would like to have a memory of, but I'm gonna take that from him, and I put the $250 on the Florida Gators at 7-1, and then I went and bought him a Florida onesie so that we can cheer together.
You know, you're all in on this Gator team, huh? Is it because you live in Florida now? You're just a homer for the Gators?
You said that last week. No. I also have Texas Tech at 30-1. I'll take that too.
Yeah, I just have all I got is Auburn, and I got our bet on Houston. That's it. I kind of wanted to do something on Kansas, but you threw such cold water on it last week. Remember, you got all upset.
Welcome.
Look, you're upset now. Look at you
lose to UCF tonight. The team is tapped out. They don't care.
Didn't Kansas beat Arizona on Saturday?
Yeah.
No?
Yeah, they did.
All right. I wasn't really paying attention.
Shocker.
Okay. I had my nephew's baptism on Saturday. And then we had a family function after the baptism. Sorry, I didn't watch the Kansas-Arizona game.
What are you going to do?
Do you want to do the mailbag?
Yeah, let's do the mailbag. We don't have a lot of questions this week. Short show, short list of questions. A lot of guys we know, a couple of new guys. Vincent PGH on X says, with WrestleMania coming to Vegas, would Nevada even consider wagering on pro wrestling, even at very low limits? Yes, the match results are predetermined, but often for big matches, the result is not shared with even the wrestlers or decided until just before the event starts.
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, we talked a little bit last week on the show about NFL draft. Remember that? And how I don't like it because somebody out there knows the answer. I just don't really like. I don't know. I know nothing about wrestling. Like, I didn't even know that.
Did you watch wrestling when you were a kid?
The result isn't shared with the wrestlers. No.
Oh.
I don't know anything about it.
Me
like
either.
This question here where he says that the results aren't shared with the wrestlers until just before the event starts, that I just learned that just now reading this guy's question. I didn't know that.
All right.
Like, I don't know. It's just a little scary when you don't know anything about anything. And the worst part, though, is that somebody else out there knows. But I can't deny the huge popularity of wrestling. It just is something I just don't know anything about.
I know nothing about pro wrestling, like less than you. Kevin Joe 897-39691 on X says, 2-part question: which peanut butter, Jif or Peter Pan, creamy or crunchy?
I think I eat Jif, and I like the crunchy peanut butter. What about you?
So I'm gonna save you guys all the hippity dippity how garbage both of these peanut butter brands are, and just say when I was a little kid that I used to eat crunchy Peter Pan. That was my dad's favorite.
Crunchy Peter Pan.
Now
So
I wouldn't eat it for $100 bill sitting on the counter. Like it is literally cottonseed oil garbage. I don't eat that shit.
So you wouldn't eat it for $100? $100?
No, it's like
100 American
John Murray. Would you eat rat poison for $100?
No, I don't want to die.
Okay, well, I don't want to eat whatever monstrosity they've turned most of our food supply into.
Well, there goes our Peter Pan peanut butter contract. I mean, we just you compared it to rat poison. That's ridiculous.
Listen, I'll get you the ingredient list and I'll put it in the group chat just for you. R949LF on X says, will John still be podcasting this week since Liverpool lost? Yes, he's here.
Yeah, I'm so disappointed. I feel bad for the boys. I mean, Liverpool is going to win the Premier League, which I think it means more to the fans to win the Premier League. Me personally, I like the Champions League. I like playing the teams from the other countries. I like the tournament style of it. And I had a hotel room in Munich booked for the Champions League final, which I canceled yesterday.
Because you guys,
I always do that.
PSG?
We lost PSG. Fuck. I always do that though. I always book a hotel room in the city where the Champions League final is. Next May, it's in Budapest. And, 1 year I actually ended up using that hotel room. I went to Paris in 2022 for the final. We lost to Real Madrid. We're out of the Champions League, but probably going to win the Premier League. They've got a pretty big lead in the Premier League. So no one's going to feel bad for the team that wins the Premier League, but I am very disappointed. And they went out on penalty kicks, which is obviously the worst way to go out.
Yeah, that's not fun.
It sucked. Yesterday was pretty terrible, but it's okay. You gotta move on in life, Kelly. You can't dwell on these things. Still love the team.
K-State basketball is getting their ass kicked right now. I'm just gonna turn it off and not dwell on it, and do something better with my life, like go eat a steak.
Okay.
Okay. Last question is from our friend Turtle Sports on Instagram. Any more sharp action on Major League Baseball futures besides the Reds?
Yeah, I'd say Boston is a team that's getting a lot of looks. The Red Sox. And then
my World Series.
My team, the Nationals, is they're getting some looks. Here's a team that's getting a lot of sharp under money, and it's the team that Kelly and I supported last year, the Cleveland Guardians, formerly the Cleveland Indians. Now they're the Guardians for reasons that remain unclear. What a terrible name. But the Indians under wins. We've moved that one from 84.5 to 81.5 here at the Westgate Superbook. I'd say that one for sure. Other than that, let me see. I'll give you guys one more. Oh, you know what? I'll tell you a team they're really betting us under big time. San Diego. San Diego's been moved from 88.5 all the way down to 85. So very, very large move there on the Padres. They've lost some players from last season's team, and Musgrove, I think, had Tommy John, which is not good. And I'll give you one more. They've bet up quite a bit. They keep betting up the Tejas Rangers. Hard to remember. This team won the World Series in 2023. Missed the playoffs last year. They're getting a lot of support.
Have you seen those Texas Rangers hats that are like selling on eBay for like thousands of dollars because they spelled it Tetas?
Tetas.
I'll send it to you guys. It's pretty funny.
What is it, like the Eagles or the Philadelphia Mayor? They can't spell Eagles.
I don't know. Titas, I guess, is what they had. The big Rangers T. Yeah.
I didn't know that. I didn't know what tits was. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I
that's why it makes it really funny. And now they took it off, realizing, oh shit, we fucked up, and now everybody wants the hat. So whoever got their hands on it is like selling on eBay for like thousands of dollars.
That's actually very funny. I am very excited about baseball season starting because now I don't really have anything to watch.
Yeah. We don't have like a major college basketball tournament coming up or anything.
Well, but I'm talking about teams that I care about as a fan.
Oh,
There's nothing left for me. That's why this Sunday I'm going to go play golf, and then I'm going to, after a very poor round of golf, I'll sidle up to the bar, get a beer, and watch the selection show.
there you
And
go.
we'll have all those props up for betting early next week, and I'll let you know on Wednesday what the sharp guys are on. KIV, be safe on your cruise. It's lovely to see you. We got to always catch her in between vacations.
Yes,
So
now.
So we'll do a show on the 19th, and then we'll do a show on the 26th before your next trip out to Las Vegas for the Final Four.
God, I really don't want to come, but it was like almost free. Like it was like $300 flight. I gotta stay at the Westgate. I know that you write me a comp for some dinners. I'll go to Velvet and drink way too many margaritas. Like,
well, the Westgate marketing can maybe put you up in one of theme suites.
Have you seen the Playboy Bunny one? I did see it on Instagram. It looks really fun.
You should ask them. I think they like putting people of your stature in those rooms. So I don't have the authority to do something like that.
Are you kidding me? I've been to one of your rooms before. It was like a presidential suite.
Oh, really? Oh, well, I'm sure I didn't put in the reservation. I don't even know how to do that. So it definitely wasn't me. I don't even know how to do stuff like that. I'll just hand somebody a piece of paper and be like, put in this hotel room reservation. Thank you. Have fun. Be safe. I'll talk to you next week.
Bye.